Welcome, mindful parents. In this video, I'll be talking about why punishment doesn't really work. So some of you might be thinking that yes, it does work. Our children does listen to us when we threaten them or hit them or yell at them. But I want you to know that it probably works for a very short time. And when you're not watching, your child might be doing it behind your back. Punishment works because it comes from a place of fear. When you go to your child and say that if you don't do that, I will take this away from you, or when you threaten them by yelling at them, by punishing them, by taking them to timeout, by hitting them, by screaming at them, you are creating that fear inside their heart. And that child will not do that action again because they're scared of you. And that would create two things. One, your child will either become ashamed of who they are. Your child will have a very low self-esteem and they don't have the courage or self-confidence to do anything for themselves. They will feel ashamed and they will probably cocoon in the corners and they will be quiet. And the other thing that might happen from punishment is that your child might become rebellious. They would want to get you back. They might yell, they might scream, they might start lying, they might start doing things behind your back. Those are all the things that we don't want our children to do. And that's why I want you to think before reacting, before you start yelling, before you start bribing, or before you start punishing. What we really want to do as parents is teach our children, not from a place of fear, but from a place of understanding. We want our children to understand that it hurts if you hit somebody, that it's not okay to steal. But we cannot do it from a place of fear. We cannot do it by threatening them and punishing them. And that's why peaceful and mindful and positive parenting is how we need to deal with it. We need to have conversations with our children. We need to connect with them. We need to see why are they acting in that way from the beginning, and then correct them. Look at the different ways where you can communicate with your child and explain to them. And at the same time, set a limit, which means that if your child is hitting and you're telling them, ouch, that hurts, and your child continues on hitting, then you need to remove your child from that space and say, you know what, I think we need to play away from that child because you're not able to handle your emotions and the way you are reacting to that child. And that can also work for little children. I'm not talking about children that do understand you only, but also toddlers who are trying to grab things away or hitting. You simply need to remove them from that spot. It is your responsibility to be there and stop the hitting from happening before it actually happens. When we talk about being positive and mindful and peaceful, it doesn't mean that we allow our children to do whatever they want to do without any response from us. It is our duty to teach them, and it's our duty to set that limit if we need to set that limit. But we need to do it with kindness and with support and with connection. So we need to connect to our child before we correct them. So if we are seeing that our child is having a hard time, before you start lecturing, you need to connect to them and then try and correct their behavior. I hope you found this video helpful. Remember to create peace at home for a peaceful world.